now entering the Horror Sanctum.
Hello, and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum Podcast. I'm Jay with John and Kellen. And ladies and gentlemen, put your dancing shoes on because we're going to prom. But our dance card is shared by the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Mr. Vito Trigo. Welcome back to the Sanctum.
Thank you for having me back, guys.
Always a pleasure to have you, my friend. So, prom. If you're listening at home, you're probably thinking, oh, Carrie, maybe. Oh, Carrie 2, The Rage. Maybe Prom Night 1, 2, 3, or 4. But no, we are going to be talking about 2025's Fear Street Prom Queen, directed by Matt Palmer, the latest installment from the R.L. Stine book series that came to Netflix. If you are not familiar, Shadyside High's 1988 Prom Queen election becomes deadly for underdog Lori when a sinister figure begins killing the candidates. As I said, this is a brand new movie, but it is on Netflix. And I mean, everybody has Netflix, right? It's like a checking account. So go watch it if you haven't and come back. If not, spoilers.
So yeah, I have not seen any of the Fear Street movies. Not one, not a second of any of them. I couldn't even tell you what any of the other ones are about. I know from looking up this movie that they all have a year in their title. But other than that, could not tell you what they were about. Never read the books. I think they're based on books by R.L. Stine. A little more.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, thanks Vito, for hanging out until Kellen got like 4 sentences in. Already pissed him off.
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah,
Oh.
see, look at
I remember Goosebumps. I knew Goosebumps. I just didn't know that.
And then gradually you move towards Fear Street.
As you got more mature.
Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't read it either, Kellen. Don't feel bad. I didn't read that shit either.
Well, I know that my wife has several of the books, but I didn't know that these were like specifically off of those movies, or these movies were specifically off of those books. I thought maybe they were doing like their own version of R.L. Stine's properties. Anyway, this is an hour and 30 minutes and has a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I really liked it. I actually really. This was 1,000 times better than whatever garbage Abigail was.
You're gonna make Vito get his steps in just talking to us.
This was an Oscar-worthy film compared to that trash that was Abigail. No, this is
Abigail. Abigail.
Yeah, the little girl vampire movie. That was straight trash, stupid idiot trash. Anyway, somebody tried to do your accent, but they'd never been to New Jersey.
I don't even have a New Jersey accent. What are you talking about?
Anyway, Fear Street Prom Queen.
There's linguistic skills, sir. Like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm Texas born and raised, man. I was born and raised, but you know. Oh my God.
Well, this movie is exactly what it looks like. It's a homage to the slasher genre. This one is kind of interesting because the twist is super obvious, but more detailed than I realized. So obviously, I knew that the mom of the neighbor girl had something to do with it. You knew that the dad, because of who they got. That's the problem, right, with hiring recognizable actors for secondary roles, is they're coming back later. The guy was from American Pie. That's the only thing I really remember him from off the top of my head, but I know he's been in other things. He's definitely gotten older. That was kind of shocking, and it forced me to face my own mortality and age, seeing how old he had gotten. But he's coming back, and it's going to be in some capacity tied to the plot. So that wasn't really shocking. That wasn't whatever the twist was supposed to be. That didn't get me. But finding out that the daughter was also part of it, was surprising, but then also not because she was a psychopath for this whole film. This is kind of like a rip on Carrie in that Lori, the main character, is basically bullied into oblivion by the mean girl. So much so that even some of her friends turn on her because she's such a monster. That was kind of hard to watch, especially being somebody who got bullied in high school. Not to that extent, but it was like, yeah, I remember those days. I remember feeling like a piece of shit in high school. So, um,
Yeah, we definitely didn't grow out of those
that
feelings,
was
right?
that was like, just a little personal aside. Sorry for making it real for everybody. Anyway, back to the fantasy world that is Fear Street. I liked it. I did not have a problem with it. I know going in that John and Jay both said that this was the worst of all of the Fear Streets. Um, my wife and my oldest daughter also confirmed that because they watched it or my youngest daughter, I'm sorry. They watched it with me and confirmed that, oh, this is definitely the worst of all of them. Um, but as someone who has nothing to go on, i.e., the Strangers that we watched when I'd never seen the original Strangers, um, I liked it. I didn't mind it. I didn't have anything to go on other than what was right in front of my eyes, and it was enjoyable. It was predictable. Some of the kills were meh. Some of the kills were also predictable. The one part that really got me, and it takes a lot because I've watched some straight violent movies, but when he just comes into the auditorium and just hits that girl in the leg and just takes her whole leg off from the knee down, I winced. I was like, oh no. Some of that stuff is a little too much. Like, we've all been to high school. If there's a program or something going on after normal hours, every light in that building's on. Like, they're not leaving any room for high school kids to wander off and do what high school kids are going to do. There's going to be chaperones somewhere wandering around the building or outside of the main room. No, they don't put everybody in the auditorium. There's people sitting outside that are selling that have tickets to whatever it is. Even if it's prom, they sell tickets to prom to raise money for the next prom. Or to raise money for the senior trip. There's different things. There's going to be more people. It's also my same issue that I have with every horror movie that takes place in a hospital. Every light in the building's off. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We all live in a world where we've all experienced mostly the same thing, so we know there's going to be lights on. There's going to be other people around. How can you have a killer running around and nobody else notices?
Time out. Time out. Time out.
Yes, Vito?
Vito's
Now-
cutting in.
No. Not about the. Okay, homeboy. Okay. We were thinking about that in like today terms. This movie's taking place in 1988. All right. Now, if I remember from back in my days when we go to high school, sometimes other parts of the schools, the lights were dimmed down and certain parts that the school was not active in.
Sorry, did you say dimmed down?
Yeah, they're
Not
dimmed down.
completely
Like,
turned off and made black so that
yes,
nobody could
but
see
that was,
anything?
but that was in the late 90s into 2000s. Now, I think 88, they probably just turned lights off, man. Because why?
Probably. Do you know? Were you there?
Yeah, but I'm
you weren't.
just saying, your speculation is not valid because you don't know.
I actually do know because I went to my sister's prom when I was 6. The lights were not turned down, so there you go. That was in 1990. I was there, so the lights were not turned down. I can confirm that.
Not the 80s, though. Not the 80s.
Probably
It's
the
close
same.
It's not like they
Not
went
the
from
80s.
89 turning lights
I'm-
off.
I'm
and
with-
like, oh
I'm
my
with
God,
Kellen.
these kids are having
John.
sex. We need to turn the
Not
lights
the
back on.
I'm with Kellen on this. There's no way they did that. I'm with Kellen.
You have no lights on in your house right now.
I
Don't you tell me.
abstain. I abstain.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Jay.
that's the
Thank
part
you.
that
Your
always kills
abstention
me.
Is it confirmed?
That's the part that always kills me is nobody hears you're able to kill 6 straight teenagers in a confined space and not one person is like, oh my gosh, somebody's getting murdered, and runs back and tells everybody else until it's already too late. The killer's already starting to come and kill everybody else. And then
Right.
2, I watched a movie, and spoilers for Saturday. I'm not going to tell you what movie it is, but I watched a movie, and the response by the people is the complete opposite, where they were like, okay, I know they're kids. They're probably playing pranks, but we're still going to check it out. Every adult in any kind of movie like this is like, Oh, it's just that idiot Andrew. He's always doing stuff like this. They go to that Boy Who Cries Wolf well so often where the adults are like, yeah, I'm sure they just killed Sarah. Anyway, shut up and go get some spiked punch, you nerd. That's the
Hey,
adults
dog.
responding? Like, what are
Hey,
you
dog.
doing?
Were you bullied by a kid named Andrew?
No.
I was wondering why you picked that name. I was like, Andrew. Why
It was the first thing that popped in my head. No,
I'm just wondering. Okay, moving on.
no. Dustin, you piece of shit. Anyway, so um other than the stereotypical flaws and I think that they have to do that in certain horror films just to be able to get to the point where people are getting murdered. It doesn't work if after the first kid gets stabbed in the leg and is screaming, dragging his way through the science lab. It doesn't work if one of the teachers comes in like, "What's going on in here? Oh my God, call the police." It's a pretty 15-minute long horror film, so I get that they do it. It just to me, it's always just like, do something different. Because it is predictable, and that's what this movie is. This movie is an amalgamation of everything we've already seen within this genre, and it doesn't do anything new or special. But it's fun. It's just a fun teen slasher film to pass some time. I like to call it background movies, where this is the kind of movie where even if you've never seen it, you can just kind of put it on in the background, and by the time the ending comes, you know what's going on. Perfect example, everything Hallmark has ever made. If you watch a Hallmark movie, if you watch the first 15 minutes and the last 10, it doesn't matter. Vito's having a moment. It doesn't matter what happens in the middle. I mean, yeah, there might be some scenes where like, oh, did you see that person get killed? No, I'll just pull up a YouTube video of all the kills in Fear Street, Prom Queen. Um, but that's not to say that it's not worth a watch. I mean, it was enjoyable. I was entertained for the time that it was on the screen. The characters were good. There was the Melissa character. I hated when she died, when she was in her Star Spangled swimsuit and was the only one that even showed some kind of moral compass, and she died. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. So I don't really have any other things to say. I think that I know someone who does have some notes, so I'll pass it over to our good friend Vito.
Oh God. Oh God. You just can't cease to fail me. You son of a bitch. I swear to God. You mother. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Oh my God. Oh my God. You just let me down. You let me down. I'm disappointed in you. Like a father telling
Welcome
his son,
back. He
I
lets
am
us down every damn
disappointed-
week.
disappointed in you. I thought this was going to be Hate Fest 2025. We're all going to have a good old time taking a piss on freaking, Netflix's,
The smiley
Street
faced
Prom.
assassin is on vacation.
Ah, you mother. Oh, what the hell, man? Oh, God. Oh, you hurt my brain. Oh, God. So disappointed in you. You've like so taken me out of it, man. You like kicked me in the balls, man. It's like, geez. I thought I was going to. Oh, this movie is so bad. It's so terribly bad. I'm talking to you. Forget the audience right now. I'm talking to you, sir. This movie is bad. Oh my God. What here? Like when the dad's all like, when the mom and the baby like, why did you do it? It's because it's what you wanted. He got stabbed in the eye, but the blood ain't moving, bro. The blood ain't freaking moving. That right there is an example of the entire movie. That there's no life, there's no essence, there's no freaking there's no style, there's no fucking giving a damn. Everyone came to collect a paycheck. This movie is an insult to people that like freaking horror films, man. They didn't. Oh, son of a bitch! I just go back to the eyeball, the freaking eyeball, I can't get past it. Oh my God. Oh my God, John, go. I can't. I'm fucking.
Oh, you got more notes. There's no way.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm so.
But you act like you haven't met Kellen before.
Oh my God.
Come on, you got more notes.
Would it be weird to say I loved it? Would that be too far?
I'm honestly kind of shocked that you liked it too, if I'm being honest. I was kind of 50-50, but I was leaning more
It's like you
towards you
gave
not
it a
liking it.
pass. You gave it a pass. Oh my! Why did you give it a pass? There's no reason to give it a pass. This is a movie designed for you to tear apart. This movie, every essence of this movie should be torn apart from its performances, from its lack of giving a damn, from the fact that there's nothing there that shows that they care. They don't care. They say, "Here you go, dummies, eat this." It's insulting. It's insulting. God. Oh my God, I can't.
This is your strangers. The strangers movie. What
Oh
counts for
my
me?
God.
I'll tell you what.
Even-
I'll give some notes. So I will say the Fear Street films when they first came out, I didn't love them. I think the pop culture stuff I got so focused on. Over time, I didn't like them. I like 1994. I like 1978. The last one is fine. 1994 is the best one. I think the biggest thing about 94 and a lot of them is just they kind of take a decade in 1 year. So they put music in the wrong years. Like the girl in 94 at the beginning, she's listening to Nine Inch Nails, and it's like there's no way she was listening to Nine Inch Nails. Like anybody in that situation would have been listening to like Jen Blossoms or like that wasn't a thing like for
John, shame on you. Come on.
that wasn't a thing.
Come on, John.
Okay, legit. I know. Whoa. Stop. Time out.
This is
Time out.
cinema. This
Time
is
out.
cinema.
Time. I
I'm
know
making a
this.
comeback
I know
today.
this.
I'm making a
I know
comeback,
this.
all right?
I know this. I know this
I'm
because
defending
I
those
don't.
ladies. I'm defending those
I
ladies.
know
right
this
now.
because I dealt with a lot of Gen Xers in the 90s and I know what they were listening to, and I guarantee you they were not listening to Nine Inch Nails. That was something to where only certain people were listening to. And I like Nine Inch Nails. I'm just saying they took a decade and they make it as if it's 1 year. That does not happen. Just like the AOL Instant Messenger thing in the original.
Oh.
There's a kid, he's on AIM in 1994. That never happened. AIM started in 1997. You know how I know this? Because I was fucking on AIM in 1997.
Yeah.
It never happened. So like basically it's Hollywood writers looking at the 90s. They think, oh, this is exactly what it is. No, they don't do their homework, right? It is what it is though. Once you get past that, it's fun. Now
I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you
this now this movie is pop culture to the max. It's like let's take every 80s song, throw it in there. Let's take every reference, throw it in there. It's fun. The music is fun. I think that a lot of it is, of course, silly. You know, like they're going to see Phantasm 2. That wouldn't have happened. There's no way. That wouldn't have happened. I mean, I love Phantasm 2, but come on. There's like, they were not going to see Phantasm 2. Or like the girl with the zombie poster in a room. Like realistically, that girl would have had like a Cure poster or like the Smiths. Like that's what the weird girl in the 80s were. They were not into zombie, you know.
I did. I remember watching it and calling bullshit on that because I was like, how difficult would it have been at that time,
right,
where they are to get a zombie poster? I will say that.
I think they were trying to shoehorn. I think they were probably inspired. Well, obviously they're based off books, but I think that Summer School inspired that character a little bit with Dave and Chainsaw.
Right. Yeah.
She gave me those vibes because she did the pranks with the blood and guts, the posters, the room. She also had a little, and we'll talk about this on our next episode. I know Vito and I share a love for Stokely from The Faculty. Like she gave me Stokely vibes as well.
Like she's actually in my notes. I was like listing off who they were.
Nice.
I don't think it's one of those things where those people couldn't have existed. I just think what happens now is people look on pop culture with like Monday morning quarterback eyes. And so it's like we learn these things and we're into them, but they don't really think about what it was like back then. It's like Stranger Things. Like, were there people who were walking around into Dio and stuff? Yes. Was it common? Probably not. It's just kind of those things where it's easy to represent a decade by the things that we know now versus the things that they were. I take problem with that because when I remember things how they were, it's like I'm like, okay, well that's not exactly how it was. But I think when you can kind of just put that in the back of your head, it's fine. You can have fun with it. I did laugh at when they started playing I Think We're Alone Now. I cannot hear that song without thinking of Ted. when Giovanni Ribisi is like dancing and Ted is like behind the corner looking at him. Every time I hear that song now, I think of that scene from Ted. Ted's like such a funny movie. The acting was whatever. Chris Klein is such a terrible actor. He was in the Street Fighter 2009 movie. He's got there's something so
Don't
cringe
be bringing
about
up his
him.
like worst movies. Don't be bringing up his worst movies. Come on.
Did anybody
He's
get?
bad.
Did anybody
He's
get?
bad.
Did anybody
Yeah, but
get
don't bring up his
the
worst
villain of
movie.
Scooby Doo getting revealed at the end when they were dragging him
100%.
away and he had the face and he was like, oh, like a pirate? I was
Yes.
like, that looks like
Yes.
they just
Don't
unmasked
bring
the
up,
Okay.
don't
Scooby-Doo
bring up,
villain.
don't bring up the fake guy, damn it. Do not bring up the fake guy.
Yeah.
Who was? Okay, this is gonna make me sound ignorant. Who was he?
For
I
what?
did not catch Chris
dad.
Klein. He was the dad. The
He
killer
was the dad. Yeah. He
Yeah.
was the dad.
Yeah.
I did not pick up on that. That's wild.
I
It was
do.
the moment he popped up on screen. I was like, hey, it's that guy.
Oh yeah, no, it did not. It did not even dawn on me.
You should look up his Mamma Mia audition. It's so bad. Oh my God. Like I say this out of love because he's one of those guys that when I see him, I instantly just like love it because he's so bad that I like watching him as much. I don't know if that makes sense. I will say that, like the girl who goes missing, one of the first people that gets killed, she's gone for days. I mean, in real life, parents don't ignore that for days. You have to take it with a grain of salt. It's R.L. Stein. It's not brilliant writing. It's R.L. Stein. R.L. Stein's meant for 13-year-olds.
Wait. Don't be blaming R.L. Stein right now, okay?
It's for
He did not write
preteens.
he did not write the screenplay. He did
It's
not write
for
the screenplay.
well, it's R.L.
Yeah,
Stein.
no,
R.L.
I'm
Stein's
just
for
saying,
preteens.
Leave him alone from his actual movie, John. Don't be bringing him into this. all right?
No, well, I'm just
I'm
saying.
Sorry, Mr. Stein.
Look, I'll respect R.L.
Who knows?
Stein.
It could have been written by a ghostwriter. If you ever watched the
Yeah.
documentary about the Scholastic company and how they were forcing him to crank out books at such a high rate.
He's not writing this.
I was about to say, there's a good deal of those books that he never even touched, even though he claims to have written everything himself.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me. The sheer volume of stories that they were requiring him to crank out for Scholastic, there's no way he wrote all those. Sorry, Earl Stein. I still love your material.
No, I mean, I think for what it's not like it's like it's meant for what it is, right? And I think if this movie had come out before Stranger Things, I probably like it more. I think the problem is we've seen so many movies do this pop culture thing so many times that at this point it's like just paint by numbers, and that's not really its fault. It's just unfortunately, we've seen it done over and over. So by the time you see this, you're just like, yeah. 80s reference poster, you get the whole gist. So overall, I mean, I don't hate it. I don't like it. I wouldn't say that I like it, but I don't hate it. So it's kind of in the middle for me. So yeah.
And that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And let's see if I'm the only one who Vito doesn't yell at. That's the goal here with my notes. All right. First of all, this reminded me.
Shame.
Shame. I won't get shame. So to me,
Giving this movie
no one's touched on the killer, so I'm interested in what you guys thought. I thought it was very cookie cutter. I thought it was very plain. It reminded me kind of the show Scream Queens, but it was a devil, but it was still like that red latex. I didn't care for the design of the killer. Now, in Kellen's background, when you get a little further away from it, I can see how it could be creepy. That kind of reminds me of the Black Christmas newer remake with the weird boy cult. But as John said earlier, I like the other Fear Street movies better. I watched this the same week it came out, and I will honestly say I was very disappointed from the jump. It was great music. I'll give them that. They definitely pulled from a lot of things. Again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know how much of it was what R.L. Stein had written originally, or if they took some liberties. I didn't like any of the characters. And that's something that always takes me out of movies is if I don't give a shit about anybody, I don't really. That's probably why I didn't realize it was Chris Klein, because the first time I was like, This time I was watching it as a homework so we could do this episode, so I probably missed it there too. But I'm like, all these characters are kind of dicks. They're all kind of awful. The dance routine scene made me want to throw up. Again, and this is what I say with Lindsay when we're watching something. She's like, well, that wouldn't really happen. I'm like, yeah, it's a movie. So I get that part of it too. They're trying to entertain. I remember my dances, and no one ever did shit like that. We were too scared to even get up on the girls, and then Genuine's Pony would come on, and then hell would break loose.
Jay,
But
if we were in the same room right now, I'd give you a kiss.
I wish we were, Vito. I wish I would accept
Because
it.
because after Kay broke my mind over there, and you're saying all the things that I want to say right now. So,
See, Jay's better than K, right? That's why I come first. The kills were decent. A lot of the kills were fine, except the electricity kill. I hated that kill so much. It felt like a cop out. Also, we talk about realistic. I don't really think that's how it would happen if you got electrocuted. Um, I didn't like that either. One thing I didn't notice watching it again, not Chris Klein. We've already covered that. I did not notice Chris Klein's ass in that movie, but they try to they try to make you think everybody is the killer. Like the whole time you're watching the movie, everyone is a suspect, even the janitor. I don't know if you noticed. The janitor is always in the background. He's always like mopping with like a mean look on his face. Even at the dance, he's there at the table beside the punch and the principal. I don't like her either, that actress. Sorry, the mom from the first Conjuring movie. Not a fan of her. I can't tell you why. She just doesn't do it for me. But I,
do you
I
feel
guess
like she's
that's
like gonna do you feel like she's like gonna yell at you about something, like like you said something wrong and she's not gonna school your ass? I kind of get that vibe from her.
Who are you? You said mom from Contra? Are you talking about the
first
evil mom?
the first Conjuring
No.
movie.
Yeah,
She was the mom.
Mama gets possessed. Yeah,
No, the evil. So I see. The lady who's the bad mom. She's the one from Alien Covenant, right? I think.
yeah. She's from Alien Covenant. Yeah,
I'm
And a
just
bunch of other
sorry.
stuff,
I was
yeah.
mixing it up. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you were making me second guess. I'm like, wait a minute. But
I was confused. Yeah.
I've just
Well,
never
no,
been a fan of her.
You meant the vice principal, right? That's that.
Yes.
It's the vice principal. The vice principal.
So she was. And see, here's another thing. I thought she was the principal because she was the one who was in charge.
Because she was bossing around the principal. The principal was
Yeah.
like her flunky.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. I was excited because again, I like the original Fear Streets. I have the original run of the Goosebumps books up here on my bookshelf. Like, I was a huge R.L. Stein fan. I was a huge Scholastic Book Fair fan. That was the best day of the school year. But I have a few Fear Street books now, but I haven't cracked them open. So I'm not that familiar with that genre. I know it's basically Goosebumps, but instead of kids, we got teens, right? A little bit more sensual, all that. But that was my biggest my biggest knocks on it. It's just like I don't care. I don't care. And I think it's safe to say that I'm probably the easiest one to please in this group, right? Like I like everything. This one, I don't hate it. Like John, there's no way in no world do I absolutely hate it. You should never watch it. But it's just kind of like Hell of a Summer. I was the only one who really loved Hell of a Summer, right? Same thing. It didn't do anything different. It's what one character you cared about in Hell of a Summer, maybe two. So, but at the same time, when we've talked on the show before, like we don't want to think every time we watch a horror movie. I don't want to have to do a deep dive to understand the base meaning of this movie I just watched. So we need movies like this in life. Like in the 90s, it would have been The Faculty, right? Movies like that. That's what these movies are considered now. But that's just my biggest thing. No character you cared about. Even the Lori girl, the main girl, she kind of does a heel turn. And like she goes off with that one guy. Like she kind of becomes a little on her own. So
Like that should have happened in the middle of the movie, not like towards the end.
Yeah.
You know, if they're going to do something like that's what I'm saying. Like, the movie just frustrates me. Sorry, go on.
And then, I mean, that's pretty much it. And we talked before we started recording about the post-credit scene. Vito and I think, were the only two that caught it. So
Yeah.
the mom at the end, she's bleeding out and is into like a pentagram. What did you call it, Vito? What curse?
It was like the devil. It's the devil symbol. It's the symbol of the devil that is like the Shadyside curse that the good family is put on the town.
Yeah. So how do you
because-
interpret that? Do you interpret that as it's done?
Well, because like in the curse brings out the desires of the person inflicted. So they infected the mom, whose desire, because she kind of robbed herself of becoming prom queen, because she killed the main girl's daddy, was to become prom queen. So she gets infected, and she kind of like, I think the family might have been infected. But the thing is, that's where it gets a little muddy. Did the whole family get infected, or did she get infected and then she kind of like forced everybody else into it, basically?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's in that slight, because it feeds on the curse feeds on the desires of the person.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like loophole things, which we try to figure out like how does this connect to the trilogy, where you have people just immediately going into mass murder, right away.
Hashtag America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah.
my last thing, and this is my very first note beside very cookie cutter. What was their end game? The parents. All right. We murdered everybody for you, baby girl. Then what? Oh, we're going. Okay,
that's
your
the
life's
curse.
fucking ruined. Your
That's the
life's
curse,
ruined.
though.
Yeah, it's just
They probably were just going to go out to give you because like the curse does explain some of the terrible choices in the movie that the killers make.
that's
Like
true.
when he starts, like when the dad starts like hacking away at people in the dance, it's like, this is not logical. This is not logical. But if he's possessed by a curse, he's just kind of just going through it.
Who played the dad
makes more
again?
sense.
Who played the?
I always take it as like for that, I always take it as, a lot of times in slashers, the crazy people are just so crazy they don't think it through. Like their emotions get ahead of them, so they don't think out their plan. It's like the ego and insanity gets the best of them. Maybe
Yeah, but
it's a cop out, I guess.
We didn't have enough. We didn't have enough time with him to even get a sense of that. So
Right.
seeing it, it's always that's where the character development's all terrible, because you didn't get enough time to either give a shit or even like maybe go like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
No.
That's true. I agree.
So,
Yeah.
Fair. All right. Well, that's all I got. We'll go around, give our rankings, close up shop. Let's start with Kellen.
Yeah, this is a solid 6.5 out of 5 for me. I thought this was one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces. This is the first movie. I imagine pretty soon that
Criterion Collection.
it'll have it'll A24 executives are weeping right now that they didn't come up with this. That the little director that did all those movies like The Departed, what's his name?
Martin Scorsese's gonna.
Martin Scorsese is going to fall back
Scorsese?
and be like, you know what? I was wrong about Netflix. They're making the most amazing cinema, and it deserves all the Oscars. This is going to be what all of the film school students from this year on will now be discussing as the pinnacle of horror. Forget The Exorcist. That's trash now. That drops to a 1 for me. Abigail's now a -14, and this is the greatest film that I've ever seen. No, it is what it is. Nobody is wrong in anything that they said.
Except you.
It's just enjoyable for something to just fill the time. That's the only, like I said, that's the only way I can explain it. Are Hallmark movies good? Universally, no. Even the women who love Hallmark movies will say these aren't good movies, but they're fun to just have in the background as something to kind of entertain you between bites while you're eating or while you're decorating the Christmas tree. This is just a decent movie to have on in the background to kind of not really have to pay attention. This is actually the perfect movie for this generation, because you can be on your phone for this whole film and still understand what happens and still be like, yeah, that was fine. So I give it a 2.5 out of 5. That I think that with my rating scale, that's probably pretty accurate.
That's
Vito.
fair. Now, before you give your ranking, Vito, you said if you were in the same room as me, you would kiss me. If you were in the same room as Kellen right now, what would you do to Mr. Lee?
Take this foot and put it in
Boots
his
and
ass.
asses. Boots to asses.
You got to buy me dinner first.
You don't deserve a dinner, sir. You deserve 2 tears in a bucket. No. Okay. Who's next? Hello?
What do you want your ranking to be there?
Oh, well, I'm going to give it a 1. Negative. -1.
Johnny?
I think that if this movie came out in the 80s, I honestly think if it came out in the 80s and we had not seen Stranger Things and all these things, I don't think it would be that bad. I think it would probably be liked. I think it's a circumstance of we've seen so much that it just doesn't do anything new. My original rating, I think it's silly. It's over the top. You can have fun with it. I originally gave it a 3, but I'm going to settle on a 2.5 out of 5. It's perfectly fine. I agree with Kellen. I don't hate it. I think you just have to shut your brain off to the silly references and shit. But yeah, I don't hate it. 2.5 out of 5. I think it's fine.
I think the first time I gave it a 2.5 when I watched it, and that's just me being me. Watching it again, I think I'm going to drop it to a 2. I agree with what Kellen's saying too. Like, I have tons of movies. We're about to talk about one of those after this episode that I can just turn on for background noise. I don't have to pay attention. So I can appreciate that. Here's the thing. I wouldn't own it. And that's saying something big for me.
Mhm.
Unless it was a
What
steel
if there
book.
was a steel book?
If there was a steel book, that motherfucker would be first class mail on its way. But yeah, so that puts us at a 2 for Fear Street Prom Queen, not Prom Night. That's it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube
A
channel.
-1? -1 doesn't bring it
No,
past
I
the
gave
2?
it a 1. We can't go negative.
Oh, fuck.
We have to deal with killing every episode. You don't, sir.
Kellen,
We can't do
Kellen,
negatives.
You are advocating for the bastardization of horror films, all right? You are advocating for that, and I shame on you.
It's
Shame on you.
2025. All bets are off.
We gotta stand the ground, man. We gotta stand the ground. Don't be settling for this crap. Okay.
Boots to asses, Kellen. Boots to asses. All right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We have a group on Facebook. And we have an Amazon Music playlist that is updated. We'll have some bitchin' 80s songs from this film. And yeah, Vito, thanks for hanging with us. You're still shooting right now, right?
Yes, I'm still in an
I'm sorry
undisclosed
we drug you from that for this shit show over here. But what can you tell us about what you got going on over there?
It's a comedy horror called Nightmare at Nana's. It's about 2 brothers who get mixed up in a whole lot of craziness out in the woods.
Nice. Is it trauma or is it something else?
No, it's just an indie film.
Indie film. Awesome.
Independent film, yeah.
Well, obviously we're big fans of you, so we'll look forward to seeing that when it comes out. All right, signing off. I'm Jay with John, Kellen, and Vito. And until next time.
Keep it motherfucking spooky.